shine. You're jamming. Sugar rhythm, a blended feeling. Inhale the waistline moving. My whole body is vibrating. It's sugar beat, it's joy that leads. Hey, so give it over, give me soul. The ever, every jam, sugar time, it's your jam. So every jam, 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 jam.
Competition 1978.
Yeah.
Queen.
Yeah,
Monarch,
I won the Calypso Queen
everything.
for the fifth year, and that the last year was in 1978. The tune I wrote was I Thank Thee.
Tell us about it.
And that was a tune, when I wrote that tune in New York, and I called Mr. Rolson Charles and asked him, I said, listen to this. And I want you to tell me, if you like it, how it sounds. He played the whole tape. He said, it sounds good, you know, but it need a little more touching up. And that is the only Calypso I've never edited, I've never touched. I just put it down right there. I never did anything to it. Put it down, shelf it, and hand it to Pelham, and that gave me the
In fact, you were not singing it in the tent. It's only about 1 week before.
No, I told them. I told my tent manager. I said, look, I know I'll be selected to go up in the savannah, and I have a tune that I know that will take me straight up for the crown. I don't want that tune. I don't want to sing that tune in the tent. He told me, say, Rose, whatever you say, if you feel, and one thing, anybody I'm working with, you know, they always feel my spiritualistic vibes, you know. So one thing, they never question me. If I tell Mr. Sil this, he never say, Rose, why? Because he know I have a reason why. Then I called Dave Elcock. I said, Brother D, that tune on the radio, on the record, I Thank Thee, I don't want it to be played at all. I will tell you when to, because I didn't want the public to hear the tune until the night of the Sabbath.
Dear Tobago, the land of my birth, which foreigners don't know. I passed through depression and starvation to be where I am in my profession. So Tobago, I am thankful to you. I won't be ungrateful. I say thanks, thanks, thanks. I thank me mother, me school teacher, me neighbor, me brother, me sister. So you see, Tobago, I thank
Now, once you had won the crown, you resigned from competition.
Yes,
Why?
because it's a must, because there's nothing else there for me to achieve. I won five Calypso Queen.
Consecutively.
Yes. Road March 1st and 2nd. The highest crown, which is the National Monarch. And I was the first person to ever achieve such crown. The first person.
The double.
The first person to ever won the Monarch.
It was called the National Monarch for the first time.
For the first time,
and no longer Calypso King competition.
And I won that, and that is history that nobody never even picked it up. I was the first person to ever won.
First Calypso Monarch of Trinidad
and Tobago is Calypso Rose.
Correct.
Trinidadians, the greatest musician, they know a good tune when they hear it croon. So when I took me in this song, they say, "Stars, give me the road march." Now they address me as Your Majesty. Yes, you'll be music, nobody wants to be. Hey, you go jump on Carnival, the brass dead in the Lord, they call me Queen, 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 Majesty. Queen of the Lord.
Winning a Calypso Monarch is always a hard act to follow, and I've seen it destroy many a career. And I think it's full credit to you that you were able to use it as a springboard to greater things. I remember particularly in 1980, a monster album that you put out, Soca Fever, and your Ezekiel Coming, which we spoke about earlier. I Am What I Am, Juve Tobago, and a number of other tunes. Let's talk about that album.
Soca in Guyana.
Soca in Guyana, Comrade Giri. Comrade Giri.
Well,
tell us about that trip to Guyana.
Yeah, that trip to Guyana, Mr. Charles, who was the owner of Solo at that time, took Charlie Roots, Merchant and myself into Guyana. And again, Mr. Burnham received it very highly. And we were asked to do a show for the GDF, for the Ghana Defense Force, which we did, which they gave me a souvenir, a GDF hat. And the response we had in Guyana, I saw it fit to write something about Guyana. So I came back and I wrote Soca in Guyana.
Soca in Guyana.
Yeah. Down in Guyana was Calypso fever. We took the whole place by storm. 10,000 people jumping, shouting and singing. Lord, a black queen is born.
Charlie Roots jamming soca music. Guyanese catching soca fits. We have them jumping in the air, and voices shouting everywhere. And they're bawling, woy, comrade woy, comrade woy. Soca how we give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, woy, comrade woy, comrade woy. Play soca give me.
So that was also a unique calypso on the album, with the message I got, Ezekiel Coming, and I am what I am, was also a
Telling
spiritual,
people.
what I am. Don't try to spoil my name. Don't try to take away my fame.
I suffer long from where I came from, so don't try to chase me down. It was a heavy load and a rugged road to walk night and day. That's why I pray and pray and pray. On Christ the solid rock I stand. I am what I am.
One of the few occasions that I've seen you perform in the Tobago was at the room.
The first person to ever won the Monarch
It was called the National Monarch for the first time.
for
in
the first
1910.
time, and
The land of me birth.
in Savannah. And I have a tune that I know that will take me straight up for the crown. I don't want that tune. I don't want to sing that tune in the tent. He told me, say, Rose, whatever you say, if you feel, and one thing, anybody I'm working with, they always feel my spiritualistic vibes, So one thing, they never question me. If I tell Mr. Sil this, he never say, Rose, why? Because he know I have a reason why. Then I called Dave Elcock. I said, Brother D, that tune on the radio, on the record, I thank thee. I don't want it to be played at all. I will tell you when to, because I didn't want the public to hear the tune until the night of the Sabbath.
Dear Tobago, the land of me birth, which foreigners don't know. I passed through depression and starvation to be where I am in my profession. So Tobago, I am thankful to you. I won't be ungrateful. I say thanks, thanks, thanks. I thank me mother, me school teacher, me neighbor, me brother, me sister. So you see, Tobago, I thank thee.
But once you had won the crown, you resigned from competition.
Yes,
Why?
because it's a must. Because there's nothing else there for me to achieve. I won five Calypso Queens
consecutively.
Yes. Road March first and second. The highest crown, which is the National Monarch, and I was the first person to ever achieve such crown. The first person.
The double.
The first person to ever won the Monarch.
It was called the National Monarch for the first time.
For the first time,
and no longer Calypso King of Egypt.
And I won that, and that is history that nobody never even picked it up. I was the first person to ever won.
First Calypso Monarch
of the Tobago is Calypso Rose.
Correct.
Trinidadians, one greatest musician, they know a good tune when they hear it through. Joanna Tobago, edition, they say stars, give me the road march. Now they address me as your majesty. Yes, every music, nobody wants to be. Hey! You go jump on Carnival there. The brass taking the Lord, they call me Queen, Queen, Queen. Queen of the Lord. Everybody hush, they say it was brainwash. All that is in now is all they lost shit. That statement is not true. Many people lost their shoe. It was my new big man to now they address me as your majesty. Listen, you music, there's nobody wants to be. Hey! You can jump on Carnival, the brass taking the Lord, they call me Queen, Queen, Queen. Queen of the road.
Winning a Calypso Monarch is always a hard act to follow, and I've seen it destroy many a career. And I think it's full credit to you that you were able to use it as a springboard to greater things. I remember particularly in 1980, a monster album that you put out, Soca Fever. And there were Ezekiel Coming, which we spoke about earlier. I Am What I Am, Juve Tobago, and a number of other tunes. Let's talk about that album.
Soca in Guyana.
Soca in Guyana, Conrad Geary. Conrad Geary.
Well,
tell us about that trip to Guyana.
Yeah, that trip to Guyana, Mr. Charles, who was the owner of Solo at that time, took Charlie Roots, Merchant, and myself into Guyana. And again, Mr. Burnham received us very highly. And we were asked to do a show for the GDF, for the Ghana Defense Force, which gave me a souvenir, a GDF hat. And the response we had in Guyana, I saw it fit to write something about Guyana. So I came back and I wrote Soca in Guyana.
Soca in Guyana.
Yeah. Down in Guyana was Calypso fever. We took the whole place by storm. 10,000 people jumping, shouting and singing. Lord, a black queen is born.
Charlie Roots jamming soca music. Soca fits. We have them jumping in the air and voices shouting everywhere. And they're bawling, woy, comrade, woy, comrade, woy. Soca how we give me, woy, comrade, woy, comrade, woy. Play soca, give me.
So that was also a unique calypso on the album, with the message I got, Ezekiel Coming, and I am what I am, was also a
Telling
spiritual,
people.
what I am. Don't try to spoil my name. Don't try to take away my fame.
I suffer long from where I came
which I
That
did.
tune and the other tune you sang, I think was Soca Jam was the other tune, or something along a Soca.
Okay,
Or is it Soca Tempo?
Soca
Was getting big.
we were
in the
getting
early
big,
80s.
yes. So I was trying to do less lyrics and more music. And
Ask you, tell me why you stop. Since you leave and gone on top. When you went to San Fernando. When you give them soca tempo. Look, woman, give me back the tempo. Give them woman go. Give me hot like fire. Give me tempo soca. Give me some down hard. Give me sweet and bad. Give me soft and sexy. Run through me body. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Loose me, man, loose me.
so we got to now come back, swing back in the area now, and give them like cipher. They'll be building houses up in the air. Helicopter will be taking you up there. And if you tumble down like a mouse, don't frighten. You're falling right down inside your house. Those are the type of calypso now we have to try to bring back now to captivate the tent audiences, to get them back to sit back down in those seats.
What I'm always in awe of the Calypso is his ability to read the situation in the country and respond musically.
Yeah.
And in 1985, you went on the other side of the fence now and you sang a political song called, I think it was Pressure on the Public.
Oh, yes, 1985, because I become the voice of the people. And I think I was the one to come out and speak.
What has been the high point in your career, Rose? Because it's been an illustrious career.
Well, the high point in my the high point in my career is so many things. For 38 years, I've received 55 awards, but I think one of the greatest achievement, the highest point, was ever when they gave me that award as a Calypso Monarch of Trinidad and Tobago.
1978.
The Prime Minister, I cannot make absent. He took me safely through independence. And I cannot forget the mighty Sparrow. He established my name worldwide through Calypso. I thank all those musicians who play my Calypso on brass and pan. I say thanks, thanks, thanks. I thank the nation to esteem for making me the road match queen. So you see, people, I thank
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I thank thee, Calypso Rose, one of the best in the business, certainly the top female Calypsonian, the Calypso queen of the world. I thank thee. I thank thee. And I chose that specially tonight. I thank thee. There was Calypso Rose thanking our school teacher, our schoolmaster, thanking our fellow Calypsonian, thanking the leader of the country. I thank thee. I remember hearing that Calypso for the first time in the early 80s and being so captivated by it. The music, and then when I got into the lyrics, what a powerful Calypso. I borrow from it tonight, and to say I thank thee. I thank all the people. It finally, you went to the National Assembly, and although it's not been a place that is covered in glory, you reflect and you say, but it is one of the top institutions of our country, one of the top institutions of our country, and you're here. And you're here not because there's something special about you. You're here because people send you here, and you're here because of the people. I thank thee. I thank thee. From my school teacher to my schoolmates, political comrade, then and now. I thank thee. I thank thee. And another chapter in a long book, but I thank thee. I thank thee. We are not always conscious of how much we owe to people. You know, you're here, but when you were young, small, as we said back then, and we still say, you know, you're going to school, you got to cross the public road or the street. Somebody got to cross you, a big lady, a big man. You go to school and all your friends, they're buying plantain chip and pelori and mitai and so on, and you ain't got money to buy. And Miss Ruby or Miss Zero would give you free. I thank thee, because those are the people who made it possible, always. And we don't always remember. You don't always remember your school teachers. The lady who hold your hand and teach you to write on that slate. Teacher Emmy, Teacher Paulette. And you go on. And those who introduce you to the world, bigger than your village, the teachers who teach you how to understand the written word. And I thank thee. I thank thee. The EUC Kwayana, who made you feel that you could do anything in the world, never raised his voice, but always encouraging you. That same Kwayana who told you, don't come back to this country without a degree, because when you are of a certain color and you speak a certain way, it's not easy for you, and it's education that's going to drive you through. I thank thee, Brother UC, and all my political comrades, those of my own age and those older and younger. I thank thee. And in recent times, over the last 10 years or so, with the advent of social media, you get a chance to meet people, hundreds, thousands. They come on to this program every evening that you're on. They find the time. The men who complain to me that they can't get their dinner on time because at 7 o'clock, their wife watching Politics 101 and she don't done there because when she done, she gone to in the ring and then she gone on to a bench shop and so on. Or the women who complain that they can't get a husband to eat dinner because they're on. I thank thee. Far and wide. Those in my village who always made me feel that I was not inferior. Even without saying it, they were saying it. That you're going on. I thank thee. I thank thee. I thank thee. We don't always say thanks. I thank thee.
Things. For 38 years, I've received 55 awards, but I think one of the greatest achievement, the highest point, was ever when they gave me that award as a Calypso monarch of Trinidad and Tobago.
1978.
The Prime Minister, I cannot make absent. He took me safely through independence. And I cannot forget the mighty Sparrow. He established my name worldwide through Calypso. I thank all those musicians who play my Calypso on brass and pan. I say thanks. I thank the nation to an esteem for making me the road match queen. So you see, people, I thank thee.
I thank thee. Calypso Rose saying it there for me and for all of us. I thank my mother, who I know is always awkward. You know, when you're a poor mother, you want your son or your daughter to be a school teacher or a civil servant. And then they go beyond that and you don't know how to deal with it because the world didn't prepare you to deal with it. But I thank my mother, I thank my brothers and sisters who, even when they're not present, they're not absent because they're there. I thank my wider family. I thank thee. I thank perhaps the woman who had the greatest impact on my life, who was now dead, my aunt who raised us when my mother migrated. She's been long dead, but she lives in my head every day. The wisdom, the folk wisdom, I thank thee. I thank all my friends who still remain my friends. Still remain my friends. There's always something that stands out. The young lady who I ran into at a birthday party, I think Saturday night, my friend brother, 60th birthday. And you know, she chatted like everybody else. But you wouldn't get the impression that this was a young lady who had any interest in politics. Young youth, as they all would say. in her 20s, and she was there with her relatives, and I know some of the relatives, so we were there. And when I got and you're shocked because you make assumptions, and we continue to make that mistake. We make assumptions of young people, which are totally untrue. They're wired in, and whenever they get an opportunity to express it, they express it. They may not always express it the way we want them to express it. Some of us didn't like the way some of those young people expressed themselves on September 4th. But I'm learning every day that our young people are not unwired. Thank you very much to that young lady and all the other young ladies and young men who have offered congratulations. It's another day, another link in this long journey, but you can't ignore, even though you may be humble about it, and it's not a big deal, it's just another day, another institution. But people are saying, no, it's more than that. And that's why I'm saying thanks. Thanks to my party, the Working People's Alliance, all my comrades, past comrades, present comrades, I thank thee. I thank thee. We often believe that, we the individual, I thank thee. I thank my friends. I thank my friends who allow me the opportunity to be regular. Allow me the opportunity to hang out with them, and they cuss me up and so on. But it's a reminder that you are from the soil. I thank thee. I thank thee. I thank all of you here tonight who have come out. I thank thee. And we are always learning. We're always learning. You sat there today, and the heckling has begun and all of that. But good evening to all of you. Good evening to my schoolmate, Linda Coke Campbell, who is a regular. And you sit there, and it's another day. They're heckling and all that kind of stuff. But if only we can find that camaraderie. There's some people there, I went across to greet Tabitha Sarabo, who, as you all know, there is some family connection there. And of course, she was sitting next to Mohammed. And so I shook Mohammed's hand, first time I'm meeting him. And I think a journalist remarked to me that I shook Mohammed's hand, because these days people pick up everything. And I think my response was that I don't share his politics. But I don't have a problem with shaking his hand. I went across to my old friend, Gail Teixeira, and said hello. And she reminded me of the good old days that I strayed from. I thank thee, because you may be on the different side of the political fence, but you don't have to be enemies. Some people are enemies. Some people are enemies, but most people are not. And as we enter the room to take our official pictures, some of us from the APNU delegation, I think, Psycho and Dr. Campbell and Solomon, we were in the room with people, and there wasn't any hostility. There may be political hostility, but when you're in the room, there wasn't any hostility. I think one of the WIN members, Harbajan, he said, "Oh, David, me going to travel till a quarantine. Let me go before you." And of course, he went before me in the line and so on. I thank thee, and we shall see what we'll do. We'll have to make lemonade out of lemon. The lemon may not be the best lemon. The lemon may start to spoil, but we gotta make the lemonade of the lemon. I thank thee, and I hope my thanks resonates with all of you. We are where we are because of all of us, all of you. There's a little piece of you in each of us. We keep moving on. Calypso Rose, I thank thee. I thank thee. Apt Calypso for us tonight. And of course, Calypso Rose took us back in history. Guyana, Soca in Guyana, for those of you who have turned up late, a little piece of history. A little piece of history. A little piece of history. Soca in Guyana.
First time
For the first time,
1978.
and
no
I won
longer
it.
Calypso King competition.
And I won that. And that is history that nobody
history.
never even picked it up.
Uh-huh.
I was the first person to ever win
First Calypso monarch of Trinidad
of Tobago is Calypso Rose.
Correct.
Trinidadians, the greatest musician, they know a good tune when they hear it groove. So when I took me born in this sun, they say, "Stars, give me the road march." Now they address me as your majesty. This will be music, nobody wants to be. Hey! You go jump on Carnival, the brass that in the low, they call me queen, 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 majesty. Queen of the road. Everybody hush, they say it was brainwash. But like it in now, it's all in a shit. That statement is not true. Many people lost their shoe. They were my new big metro. Now they address me as your majesty. Nobody wants to be. Hey! You can jump on Carnival, the brass taking the load, they call me queen, 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 queen of the road.
Winning a Calypso monarch is always a hard act to follow. And I've seen it destroy many a career. And I think it's full credit to you that you were able as a springboard to greater things. I remember particularly in 1980, a monster album that you put out, Soca Fever. And there were Ezekiel coming, which we spoke about earlier. I Am What I Am, Juve Tobago, and a number of other tunes. Let's talk about that album.
Soca in Guyana.
Soca in Guyana.
Yes,
Comrade
Soca
Giri. Comrade Giri.
Well,
tell us about that trip to Guyana.
Yeah, that trip to Guyana, Mr. Charles, who was the owner of Solo at that time, took Charlie Roots, Merchant, and myself into Guyana. And again, Mr. Burnham received us very highly. And we were asked to do a show for the GDF, for the Ghana Defense Force, which we did, which they gave me a souvenir, a GDF hat. And the response we had in Guyana, I saw it fit to write something about Guyana. So I came back and I wrote Soca in Guyana.
Soca in Guyana.
Yeah. Down in Guyana was Calypso fever. We took the whole place by storm. 10,000 people jumping, shouting and singing. Lord, a black queen is born.
Charlie Roots jamming soca music. Guyanese catching soca fits. We have them jumping in the air and voices shouting everywhere. And they're bawling, woy, comrade, woy, comrade, woy. Soca hammer, give me, woy, comrade, woy, comrade, woy. Play soca, give me.
So that
Comrade Hoy, Comrade Hoy. Hey, you know, one of the functions of music. Yes, that was in the PNC days. Time change, like a jackass. Yes. You know, one of there's several areas that I have ventured into in my academic career. And one of the areas, of course, is popular music, sports, and music as politics. And perhaps the most satisfying is the study of our popular music, Caribbean popular music, Black popular music, because you discover so many things. I vaguely remembered Calypso Rose coming to Guyana in 1980. I remember Crazy coming in the 70s. He do the Dustbin. I remember David Rudder was a backup singer for Charlie's Roots and so on. But it's during the research that one discovers this song, this calypso, written about Guyana, Comrade O. And it's my pleasure to bring it to you all here tonight, right? Aptly called Soca in Guyana, and talking about the ideological thrust of Guyana at that time. Calypso Rose, back in time, Comrade O. Good evening to all of you and welcome. A little bit of reflection tonight and so on. 1980, it's 45 years ago. It's a long time, but it's just as if it were yesterday. So the parliament opened today, and there was the pomp and the ceremony and all of that. Everybody was looking forward. The PPP, of course, took both the the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. There was expectation that they would have been the election for the leader of the opposition. That did not take place today. Of course, that is left at the discretion of the Speaker. And the Speaker is a creature of, yes, I think somebody's pointing out that Facebook, the Facebook is not broadcasting our show tonight. Facebook is not broadcasting our show tonight. And some people have migrated to YouTube. I don't know why Facebook is not carrying us tonight, but YouTube is carrying us. Sorry about that technical difficulty. I don't know. They play around with these things every now and then. Yes, Politics 101 is not broadcasting tonight, but we are on YouTube. Good evening to all of you. As I was saying, there was no election today for the leader of the opposition. I understand that election can take place at any time. The last time it wasn't done on the opening day, and it wasn't done today. So we don't know what the plans are with the PPP. Clearly, everything hinges around the Mohammed indictment and so forth. As I've said here on this program, the Mohammed indictment is not the big news for me. The big news is what Mohammed has to say about the PPP's collusion in what he is alleged to have done, because the man has to be presumed innocent until found guilty. And I'm more interested in what he and others have to say about the PPP. I heard the Attorney General said more requests for extradition are coming through this week. We await. What we are seeing is that this thing is deeper than one man and one family. And we are waiting to see how it will play out. We are waiting to see how it will play out. I know people have strong views on either side. Those who are supporters of Mohammed have strong views. Those who are not supporters have equally strong views. As I said, I am not particularly interested in that. I'm interested in hearing what Mohammed and others have to say about the government. Mohammed is not the government. The government of Guyana is the PPP government. And we have to hold them accountable first. I'm not saying citizens who might have violated the law and the Constitution should not be held accountable. They must. They must be. But the government is given power to protect the society from corruption. And if the government itself is involved in corruption, then we have a major crisis. A crisis of governance, a crisis of our very existence. So that's where my head is going. Now, I don't know what games are being played. I can't tell you that I'm not interested in the games that are being played, because I'm a citizen of Guyana. I'm a political activist, and so I must be interested. We will wait. One understands why the APNU will have a grouse with Mohammed. Mohammed took some of the APNU constituency. But what is the grouse that the PPP has with Mohammed? Mohammed didn't take plenty PPP vote. He took a handful. But the question is, why is the PPP so aggressive after Mohammed? I know some of you are saying, that they're unfair to him, and all of that may be true, but that's not what I'm interested in. When a government is going after somebody like that, there's a political reason. And I am interested in a political reason that the PPP is going after Mohammed. Not the other things. The other things are important, but I'm not into that. I want to know the political reason. And I want to know the political reason that Mohammed, in turn, seems to be so scornful of the PPP. And so that's where my head is. And that's where I would like my audience to go. Because that is the heart of the matter. It's not about whether the PPP is unfair to Mohammed. That may be true, but that is not the political question. The political question is, why is the PPP so aggressive after Mohammed? And Mohammed didn't take votes from them. Mohammed took votes from the APNU. It's the APNU should be aggressive after Mohammed, but the APNU is not aggressive to Mohammed. The PPP is. And the political mind must ask, why? Why? That's the focus. I understand that Mohammed's supporters will defend him and will pretend that he's not charged with a serious offense. I understand all of that. I understand all the talk about human rights and so on. Those thoughts they're in order. But I'm saying the bigger question is what Mohammed is accused of. What's the role of the government? And if we don't stay like a laser on that, we are losing the plot. They believe, with some justification, that we are a one-week kind of people. The bomber came allegedly from Venezuela, bomb up the gas station, kill a little child, and we've moved on since then. The government is yet to give us information. Now, there may be some security considerations, and we don't expect the government to publicize the security stuff. We don't expect that. But we do expect them to tell us something. And that is not forthcoming. And we are very quickly forgetting that. And it may be the same thing with the Mohammed. Mohammed went to court, they arrested, he got bail, a penny bail. And I think we have moved on from Friday. All is well. Mohammed is not going to be sent back to America. And we lull into a false sense of security. That's gone. We're looking for something new. But if we are looking for something new, then we are letting the PPP government off the hook. And that's where our eyes must be. Government is the vehicle through which we will get a peek, or more than a peek, into the disgusting corruption of the PPP. Then let it be. But if we are caught up in defending Mohammed as an end in itself, or attacking Mohammed as an end in itself, then we are losing the plot. Because it is about Mohammed, but it's also bigger than Mohammed. And this is where I think we should be going. So they said that it's not the first time that the leader of the opposition has not been elected on the first day of the reconvening of Parliament. That may be true. That is true. But what is the significance of the delay in 2025? There are other factors that are at play in 2025. And it is not out of place to assume that there are other factors that are playing into this decision. Not to swear in the leader of the opposition today. Like I said, for me, it is about our government and its role. For months, people have been telling us breaking news. You know, people from the PPP are going to be indicted, and it has not happened. Are we now going to see? The AG said indictments and requests for extradition are coming this week. He can't be talking about extradition for extradition for PPP people. I don't think so. It may be true, but I don't think so. So the question is, who are going to be sought by the US government? I understand they may be seeking not just people who they allege commit offenses, but they may be seeking witnesses. But it doesn't mean that PPP people are not there, but we are still to hear. If I knew Mohammed better, when I saw him today in Parliament, I would have asked him why he's taking so long to sing. But I don't know the gentleman, and I can't walk up to the man and ask the man that. But I am asking myself, and I'm asking publicly, why you're not singing? This is an interesting story. The Bomoth story is an interesting story. Guyana is not a regular place. It's not regular, yeah. We are not safe as Guyanese citizens. The trade-off that we are seeing in Guyana, in order for Guyana to look big and to look like a developed country, we have to pay some serious prices. We got to pay some high prices. And sometimes we the people, we are captivated by the buildings and the roads. Why shouldn't we? It's buildings and roads are a reflection of progress. But we sometimes confuse progress for development. You can have progress without development. And I humbly believe that that's what we're experiencing in Guyana. We have seen progress. You can't say there ain't progress. We get roundabout now. We get enough highways, buildings going up. That's progress. We didn't have them yesterday or the day before. But is it development? I respectfully submit, no. And how do I know that there? You have to ask yourself, this tremendous growth rate, is it matched by a similar decrease in poverty, the rate of poverty? And the answer is no. You have high growth rate and high poverty. High growth rate and high poverty, which means that there is something that is not happening to bring the growth rate and the poverty rate in sync. There's a dissonance. And as I explained somewhere, people are saying, well, it's not 46%, it's more like 39%. Okay, so the poverty rate has gone down by 7%. And I'm arguing that going down of the poverty rate is not because of the government, but in spite of the government. The very presence of all the money that is coming from oil is going to push down the poverty rate slowly. A decade ago, the poverty rate was in the 61%, I think, 15 years ago. And then it come down to 40-something. And they're saying now it's 38, 39. The point is that given the level of income that is coming into our country, if the government intervenes in a sensible way and targets poverty, then the government intervention plus the natural growth in the economy would bring down the poverty rate quicker. And the poverty rate is not going down quickly because the government does not have an anti-poverty strategy. And we have to understand that because it's having an impact on the way our people are thinking. Before the election, the APNU laid out how we were going to tackle poverty. We were going to put more money in the pockets of people so they can have excess income, which they can then utilize to send children to school so that they can get a better job, earn more money, and then bring down poverty. Or they can open a business so they're earning more income. We laid that out. But then some other people come and say, here is a $40,000. And our people chose $40,000 over the promise of the reduction of poverty, structural poverty. And it's easy to cost the people. But I think we have to examine the kind of political culture that the PPP has spawned in the last 30, 40 years. They've really turned our country into a country of petty hustling. That people believe that if you hustle a couple $1,000s today, it is better than pressuring the government to implement policies that will wipe away the factors that lead in people to hustle. That is, we want to eradicate hustling. Hustling is temporary satisfaction. It's temporary satisfaction. Policies which will put more money in your pocket is more permanent than temporary. And so we are at this difficult crossroads, and we have to continue to put the case, to put a counter narrative. If you underdevelop people, then you are underdeveloping education, you're underdeveloping health. You're reducing the capacity of the people to grapple with complex things. People opt out. And so, sisters and brothers, we've got to use every opportunity, as we are doing here, in order to get to the root of the problem. Yes, the National Assembly was reconvened today. We don't know when next it's going to meet because we are a part-time institution. We're a part-time institution. And in the case of Guyana, we are a part-time because the National Assembly doesn't often, even for a part-time legislature. And one of my friends made a post somewhere, somebody drew it to my attention, that I think I said in an interview on the weekend that I will take to the National Assembly my independence. And I think one of my friends misunderstood what I meant, and there was a discussion on it. The suggestion that my saying that I'm independent means that I don't intend to hold one head with the APNU. Nothing can be further from the truth. Independent doesn't mean you're breaking away. Independence just means independence, that you're thinking for yourself. And you're using that independent thought to hold your caucus together. We independent, when others were flaking away from the APNU, independence like myself stayed firm. And people forget those things. I am talking about independence as ideology, not independence as breaking away and causing confusion. And sometimes, our comrades don't spend the time to listen to what is being said. When one talks about independence, when I talk about independence, I'm talking about independence as an ideology. I mean, in the United States, in the Democratic side of the house, Bernie Sanders is registered as an independent, but he votes with the Democrats 99% of the time. In fact, he votes with the Democrats more than some Democrats. But he's an independent in terms of ideology, in terms of methodology, in terms of approach. But, we are so quick, man, to misunderstand what is being said. And then people listen to it and then they'll say, Dr. Hines gone into Parliament to do your own thing. And I don't know why we do that to ourselves. So I just want to clarify that when we talk about independence, we are talking about independence of thought, independence of action, but recognizing that those thoughts and action are part of a collective. And the person who did it is my friend. And so I don't want to make a big noise over it. But to say that, one has to be very careful. One has to be very careful about causing more confusion. There's too much confusion on our side of the aisle. Too much already. Everything is a ruckus. Everybody want to, see how bad things are and how terrible and how undemocratic things are. And it's alienating some of the base. It's alienating some of the base. So we need to be very careful that we don't cause more confusion than is necessary. because we're up against it. We're up against it. Our course started on Saturday, Introduction to Pan-Africanism. The registration is still open. You can still ask, although you would have missed the first week. So those of you desirous of still registering and putting the information at the bottom of the screen there, you can still call and get into the course. We had a good opening day, and we still, like I said, have some vacant seats. So please call and register. Today's Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday, the next day is Wednesday. Last week we made 5 shows for the week. I think we are going to make 5 shows. Again, I was a little bit concerned that we might not have made it on tonight, given Parliament and then the traffic coming down the road, but we made it. So we are going to be continuing tomorrow night when we come back. I don't know why Facebook has knocked us off tonight, but some of you still made it over to YouTube. Thank you all very much for recognizing that there are other ways of tuning in to the show tonight. So thank you all, and I will see you all tomorrow night for another edition of Politics 101. Our theme tonight, of course, is I thank thee. I thank thee. We must say thanks. We don't always say thanks. We don't always say thanks. Those who help us, those who made it possible for us to get where we are and to recognize that we are part of a collective. We're going to swim together so that we will not sink together.